Hello, I am Michael Evans, and today with my colleagues Mary Frost, Gerardo Hernandez, Hunter Gibble, and Waleed Kurtza, we are going to present a quality and assurance report on the spelling and grammar checker website known as Correct English. Correct grammar and writing skills will always be very important to learn, and no website or software will always correct everything. So it is essential that we don't completely rely on these services, whether we are a student or a company CEO. To perform this test, we will compare Correct English to other popular grammar correcting services, such as Grammarly and Microsoft Word's built-in grammar and spelling scanner. We will go over details, such as the features that they provide, pros and cons of the services, costs, if any, and provide an overall quality score on a scale from 1 to 10. All the graphs and figures used are from data we collected by testing various forms of documents for errors and seeing what services missed or incorrectly flagged. At the end, we will describe the trends found throughout the testing process and provide the final recommendation. The goal of this report is to provide an objective recommendation for if Correct English would be a worthwhile investment for universities to provide free for their students. We would all like to thank you for taking the time to view our presentation and hope it helps to provide an informed decision in the usefulness of the software for future students. Now, with more information about what Microsoft Word's program has to offer, here is Waleed.
The next slide is results from Microsoft Word, which was the first software that we compared with Correct English. Microsoft Word is a free product for most basic services, but it can cost between $50 to $100 depending on the package of Microsoft Word products. Some features that Microsoft Word have are: first, turn off or customize autocorrect to notice spelling errors automatically. Second, find out how well you write technically, like checking grammar with spelling. Third, seeing changes and edit, because Microsoft Word allows you to easily give electronic feedback. Fourth, leaving comments and suggestions from any other person that edits your document. And fifth, easily create citations. We did two tests of comparing Microsoft Word and Correct English. The first we did by comparing two different paragraphs where Microsoft Word found far less mistakes, possibly even missing several, but the ones it did find were all actual corrections that needed to be made, such as incorrect spelling and common mistakes. And the second test that was performed was a memorandum document of 370 words. Microsoft Word found the same grammar and spelling errors, but there were additional punctuation errors found by Correct English that did not detect. As a result, Microsoft Word found basic word errors, but more technical grammar and spelling words to be corrected. As viewing the results in the graph below, there are both negative and positive aspects related from the results. The positive aspects, the graph shows a better performance from Microsoft Word on grammar errors, spelling errors, word suggestions, and punctuation, which makes it better than Correct English, and also because the access can be free. However, the unique disadvantage that Microsoft Word have is that it does not go into detail on your mistakes as compared to Correct English.
Personally think that there are other better softwares you can use besides Correct English to improve your writing. One of these softwares is Grammarly. Grammarly is a software that you use that automatically fixes your grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors as you write. So if you have a mistake somewhere in your paper, Grammarly automatically recognizes it and a little text box shows up and gives you a better suggestion or solution to fix your problem in your writing. One of the pros I would say of using Grammarly is that it's free to use and it can be used on any computer browser platform such as Google Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and so on. One of the cons I would say of using Grammarly is that it cannot really do the work for you, meaning that if you um, want to use the software, you have to only use it for more of the grammar side and deleting any minor mistakes in your paper. So with non-native speakers, it may be a little hard to use this software, especially because they have a language barrier, and it's more just used for grammar, I would say. Overall, I would give this software an 8 out of 10 because uh, it's not like perfect, but I would say it's better than Correct English just because um, realistically, all you really need to work on in your paper to make it sound better is grammar, word choice, spelling, and punctuation, and that's what Grammarly executes.
My name is Hunter, and now I will talk to you about our test results for the Correct English product and compare it against the two other products you have already seen in Microsoft Word and Grammarly. Correct English is marketed as a tool for helping users fine-tune their casual and professional writing with specific features like spell check, word suggestions, grammar checks, and style/context suggestions. So how effective and accurate was Correct English, and what was the overall quality of its feedback and suggestions? Well, the results are quite mixed, and they specifically vary by the type of writing error. Correct English overall did just as good or worse than Grammarly and Word when checking for grammar and spelling errors. Additionally, Correct English identified more inaccurate errors and made more incorrect suggestions than Grammarly when directly compared using the same 5 passages. Correct English got it wrong a whopping 66% of the time compared to a more reasonable 46.7% from Grammarly. However, it must be noted that Correct English performed much better than both Grammarly and Word in identifying and correcting subject-verb agreements, which is extremely useful for making sure your email or school report is professional and as airtight as possible. So in conclusion, Correct English made far too many errors for us to give it a better overall score than Grammarly, which was able to consistently identify and correct bad spelling, grammar, and most other writing wrongs. But Correct English's better user interface and ability to scan any text very easily gave it the edge over Microsoft Word, despite Microsoft Word performing marginally better in the most other aspects. For this reason, we gave Correct English an 8.5 out of 10 based on its usefulness and usability. And now I'll hand it over to Mary to discuss our conclusion and recommendation.
Thanks, Hunter. Now I'll go more in depth about some of the trends our group found. Overall, Correct English identified and corrected mistakes consisting of incorrect verb tense, incorrect adjective-noun arrangement, and incorrect subject-verb arrangement. Some of the positive aspects are that when the program detects an error, it gives you feedback of why is an error, including an explanation and word suggestion change. Another positive of this program is that it allows a Word document to be uploaded to the website to be checked. The program gives you tools to edit the text, which help fix the errors that are provided from the program. Unlike other softwares tested, Correct English offers its users a statistics section. The statistics section is very useful because it displays what must be worked on by showing the writer 2 different types of graphs. The first graph shows the writer's overall performance of the document. It is structured as a bubble graph. When the document is well written, the bubble turns green. If the paper is not well written, then the bubble turns to a yellow color with a caution sign next to it. The other part of the section is called the writing statistics. The writing statistics graph is helpful because it shows the writer how many sentences, words per sentence, and the Kincaid level of your document. These tools are useful if you do not know how your paper looks on a professional level. However, although Correct English is easy to use and has lots of helpful features, it did not catch half of the most common English errors, according to Rebecca at EnglishVid. Even the free version of Grammarly caught more errors than the paid version of Correct English. Some of the mistakes Correct English missed included the difference between who and which, the difference between with and to, plural subjects after every, the use of infinitive verbs, and the difference between since and for. Now I'll explain to you our group's recommendation. Overall, neither Grammarly nor Correct English caught nearly half of the intentional mistakes inputted. and both softwares also output a significant amount of incorrect remarks. However, Grammarly consistently output more helpful remarks than Correct English. Based on the test trials previously mentioned, Grammarly's free program has a better understanding of pronouns, verb conjugation, and correct preposition usage. Based on the quality assurance data collected during the set of tests and trials conducted on Correct English and Grammarly, as well as contextual information such as ease of use, compatibility, and cost, we recommend not purchasing or renewing a contract with Correct English. Ultimately, Correct English fails to offer students a usable and useful experience and is not cost-effective compared to competitors such as Grammarly, which is a free, easier-to-use service that provides the same level of writing assistance. Therefore, it would be a mistake to purchase Correct English.